Okay, so we can start comfortable seated position to begin. And I have us kind of working into some neck and kind of eventually making our way down into the shoulders. So if you sit up relatively tall through your spine and just letting your eyes gently close for a moment. You can try to take a slow, deep breath in through the nose and then out through your mouth. And let's take that again. Full breath in. Exhale, let it go. All right, with the eyes still closed, draw the chin in towards the chest and just feel some space open through the back of the neck and top of the shoulders. Continuing to keep the rest of your spine long though. So notice if you feel like you're starting to round through your upper back or collapsing a little bit through the low back, still bring some length and energy there. And with the chin still drawn, walk it over towards your right shoulder, and you might feel a little bit more pull, a little bit more stretch through that back left side of the neck. And then the head comes back down through to center, and then we'll walk the chin over towards that left shoulder. And then back down through to center. And as you let your head lift, you can let your eyes flutter back open. All right, so this is called flossing outer nerves, and we're going to do a couple of variations. So you'll start with your left hand, and you'll reach the palm facing towards your face, facing towards your face. You're going to reach the arm up, open the palm away from the body, and then rotate the back of the hand towards you. Good. Bend the elbow and then bring it back in to start. So you might feel like a little tingly, a little vibration. So we're going to take that 2 more times on this side. And then you'll rotate back of the hand, bend it in. Good. And bring it back 1 more time. Reach, open away, back of the hand. Bring it in, and then I'll have you take that same hand, just cross it to the opposite shoulder, and then you're going to draw left ear towards the shoulder. And then when you bring the head back up, take that left hand, and I want you to sweep it back and feel like the palm moves up towards the ceiling. Good. And then you bring that hand back onto the shoulder, opposite shoulder, and draw that ear again back down. And the head comes back up, and we'll take the hand 1 more time behind, palm faces up towards the sky. Awesome. All right. Yeah. Little Brittany Howard. So we'll relax the hand down, and let's take it to the other side. So we'll have left hand, right hand, reach the arm up, move it up and away, palm faces away from you. Good. Bend, bring it back in. And then let's take it again where we reach up, open away, bend, bring it back in. And then last time on that side where we reach up, open away, bend, bring it back in. And then you'll cross that hand over towards opposite shoulder, and then taking right ear towards right shoulder. And as the head comes back up through the center, take the hand, bring it behind, have that palm again face up towards the sky. And then we sweep it back onto the chest and shoulder and drop the ear back down. And then last time, head lifts up, hand sweeps back, palm facing up. Nice. All right, and then you can bring the hand back and we can relax. So I'm going to turn to my side just for that seated profile. Hands onto our knees, and we're going to draw some circles through the rib cage, which of course then going to create some movement here through the shoulders, through the hips. So you might feel yourself shift around towards like sit bones, tailbone. Elbows can be bent. You can really hold on to your knees to kind of get a little push-pull connection, which can feel nice to help stretch out through the back as well. And once you've gone one direction a handful of times, we'll switch the direction. And just take notice of what feels different, if anything. Notice how you're breathing. All right, we'll go ahead, come back through to center. Let's shift up onto our hands and knees into a tabletop position. So we're moving through some shoulder circles. So I want you to let your shoulder blades hug towards one another. And then as you press the shoulders up, feel that space through the back of the shoulder blades. And then draw the shoulders down your back. Okay, so now we'll just take it into that circular movement without the kind of like the up-down business. And the shoulders are moving same direction. And then see if you can reverse the direction, which always is like my brain. My brain can't quite equate what reverse means sometimes. Okay. And then we pause. Good. I'm going to have you bring your right arm out in front. You're just gazing right down to the ground. And then as you open your right arm back towards the hip, follow the gaze. Nice. And then bring the hand back in front. And we'll take it 2 more times. We open, follow the gaze. Good. Bring it back forward. Last time we'll open, follow, back in front, and then you can bring the hand down, and let's take that 3 times on the other side. So we'll open, follow the gaze. And when you're reaching back with your neck, you want to make sure that you're not over straining there from your neck. We're just giving a little bit of rotation. And then the hand can come down. Okay, tuck the toes, lift your hips up high, come through to your first down dog, and you can pedal through the legs a few times. Give the head maybe a little shake in between the shoulders. Relax any tension from the neck and from the jaw. And then I'll have you put a soft bend into the knees, look towards the hands, walk your feet to meet them towards the top of the mat. Just scoop the belly and let's roll up through the spine. Once you come up tall, sweep the hands behind your back, fingers interlace. Let the hands press down towards your seat, but then hug your shoulder blades towards one another. And just bring the chest nice and open. Try not to let the ribs or your pelvis overly flare. So we have those ribs kind of gently hugged in, tailbone just slightly tucked. All right, and then we relax the hands, and I want you to sink down into your first chair pose. So you feel the heels primarily grounding, but we want to have that pressure still through like big toe and pinky edge. And now as you lift your left heel, you're going to circle your right arm and bring it back. Good. As you bring the arm back, we lower the left heel. And now we'll lift the right heel as you circle your left arm. And again, bringing it back. Let's take it again to each side. And forward. One more time. And forward, both heels down, and then forward fold over straight legs. Lift your chest up, halfway lengthen, and then plant the hands and step 1 foot back into a low runner's lunge. We'll pause here for a moment. And then plant the hands, step into a full plank position. With the arms staying hugged into the sides, we'll slowly lower all the way down onto chest and belly. Nice. So once you get there, hands are underneath the shoulders. We'll lift ourselves up into a low cobra and pause. So I want you to feel that the top of the ribs are still heavy onto the mat, but your belly is trying to like pull away from the ground. So your back muscles get a bit more supported. Bring the back of your right hand to your forehead. And then you're reaching that arm out and just following the gaze out towards the side. And then again, we take the hand to the forehead. And then we gently look over to the right. And then back through to center. Take it one more time. Back through to center. And then just lower all the way down. Let your spine relax for a second. You can even just kind of like wiggle it out. Shake your hips from side to side. Feel the front of the hip bones, pubic bone, soften towards the earth. And then we pause. You'll lift your head and chest up again back into that low cobra so we can take it onto the other side. So left hand behind or in front of your forehead, and as you open the arm, we'll gently follow the gaze. And then back through to center. And we'll take it again. Back through to center, just mobilizing through all parts of the shoulder girdle. And then also, of course, for our neck. And then we'll lower all the way back down. Go ahead and push up onto your knees. And once you get up onto your hands and knees, we'll step our right foot forward up to meet the hands. And then come to rise all the way up into this kneeling lunge position. So instead of like lunging super deep here, we have a lot of arch through the low back. I want you to keep the hips more stacked over that bottom knee. And our arms, both arms will sweep up. Circle the arms down to the sides. So big shoulder circles. Have just like a very subtle tuck of that tailbone underneath, and notice how that creates more space across the front of your left hip. And we'll take one more. This time as the hands come down, take them behind the back again, fingers interlace. Let the hands press towards your seat, hug your shoulder blades towards one another. All right, and then the hands will come down into the ground. Rock onto your right heel, take a hamstring stretch. So your seat can either stay lifted or you can come all the way down towards that back left heel, which is just gonna make it a bit deeper. And take another breath here. And then as we replant now, right foot back down, I'm gonna have you tuck those toes, back left toes, lift the knee. And as we come all the way up into a standing crescent lunge, we'll take the hands gently behind the back of the head, like fingertips barely touching. Gently lift your chest, lift your heart open. And then restack tall through your spine as you bring your hands together towards the heart. Okay, we take a breath in, rotate left elbow over right knee. Feel the engagement here through your center. So then it's less actually straining through the neck and through the shoulders, but we're using that whole midline area to help support the movement. All right, we go ahead, come back through to center, hands come down to the ground. Step yourself back into a plank position, pause here, and then nice and steady, lower all the way back down. So we go into our chest and shoulder stretch where our right arm is gonna open out wide out to the side. Gently roll towards that right shoulder as the head comes down into the ground. Now I have my top left knee bent up towards the ceiling, but you could also just have those knees stacked together down onto the ground. So just whatever variation feels better for your body. And notice how you're breathing. A lot of the movement today is focused on combating, all of the posture imbalances, all of like the forward head situations that we have unconsciously throughout our day, all of the rounding of the shoulder, and to really get shoulders mobilized, but then again, those spaces that constrict and are really tight throughout the day to help open up. So we turn back up onto our chest and belly. Right hand comes back underneath the shoulder, and let's take it onto the other side. Being gentle as you transition to your left. And the bottom left ribs then should still be heavy down towards the ground. So maybe even focusing on your breath of when you're taking those big inhales, how you feel the ribs expand. It's like you're breathing down into the ground. And then full breath out. Let's take that just one more time. And then come to turn back onto your chest and belly. Both hands come back underneath the shoulders. Push up onto your knees. And then walk the knees a little bit closer underneath the hips. We'll step the left foot forward. And then again, come to rise up where you're in that kneeling position. So this time we're going to take the arms out wide, out to a T. So if I'm facing forward here, when I push my arms back, I try to keep, again, the ribs hugged down, and then flex through your wrists to where it's like if somebody was pulling you back through the fingertips. That's where we are. Good. Keep pressing back. You're going to feel probably some tingling here across the front of the chest. and then take small circles. Small circles, but with that emphasis of continuing to press back. You might even get like a little vibration or kind of like numb feeling through the hands. So if it starts to feel too intense, of course, you can back off. Good. And then we bring those arms forward right in front. Fingers interlace, flip the palms away, and then nod the chin in towards the chest. Keep that soft tuck of the tailbone underneath. So now we're opening through that right hip. And as you lift your head, we'll lift these arms up and overhead. And then circle the arms out to the side. Beautiful. Okay. So now we rock onto our left heel. We'll take that hamstring stretch on the other side. Again, seat could come all the way down, or you could be about halfway if that feels better for you. And we'll take another breath or two here. And then let's go ahead, replant left foot back down. Plant the hands, step back into a plank. Slow and steady, we're going back down onto our belly. Okay, so once we get here, this is called our L arm stretch. So I want you to reach your right arm, or excuse me, your left arm is going to cross out towards the right side. Your right hand is going to reach forward over that left arm. And then if it feels comfortable to kind of let the body get closer to the ground, it's like you're not overly pressing, but you're just giving a little bit of that body weight towards the bottom left shoulder. And of course, you can minimize how deep this is by, anchoring your right hand down, like keeping some of that body weight off. Okay, the right hand is going to walk a little bit closer in towards the body, and then to help push you up. So then your left arm now reaches, right arm reaches out, left arm reaches up and over. And the same thing, as you gently let your body get heavy towards the ground, we're going to feel big pull here through that outside deltoid, outside of the right shoulder. Maybe even a little space through the shoulder blade if you're feeling tight there. All right, let's go ahead, bring the left hand closer in towards the body, and then gently unthread your right arm. Both hands underneath the shoulders, push back up onto your knees, walk the knees back underneath. Right foot steps forward again, and you're back up into that kneeling lunge. So now the hands come behind the back. We're going to sink just a little bit deeper into our front lunge, and then gently pull the heart forward, open up through the chest. Feel the collarbone nice and wide. And now as we back up to where we bring the hip over that knee, shift your hands onto your hips and both knees come underneath. Right leg only opens out to the side with the toes facing out towards the front of your mat. And then your right arm will slide down along that right leg. Left arm will start to reach up and over. And then as we come back up through to center, bring your right knee back underneath the hip. Both hands stay onto the hips. So we'll come into a hover chair pose. You're going to sink your seat back, hold for like a few inches over your heels, and then reach your arms right out in front. As you lift up onto your knees, arms sweep, and then we come back into that hover chair position. Good, so we get a little bit of booty engagement here when you lift up. We get the core connecting to make sure the ribs aren't flaring and the spine stays nice and long. And again, still mobilizing through these shoulders. Okay, let's take two more. And then this last one, lift up, hold. And then let's go ahead, shift the hands back onto the hips. See if you can step your left foot forward. Okay. And then we lunge a little bit in here. Think about your elbow points trying to touch one another behind the back. So they're just gently reaching, heart pulls forward again, Feel your belly just softly engaged here. All right, and then as we back the hip back up over the knee, we can step the left foot out to the side. I have to move over a little bit. And then the left hand comes down along the side of the left leg. Your right arm will reach up and over for a gate pose. All right, go ahead, come back up through the center. Hands will come down onto the ground and then pull the left knee back underneath the hip. Let's take a few rounds of cat and cow here. So we'll open up through the heart on your inhale. Exhale, rounding through the spine. Few more times where we're breathing in and just feeling that movement through the back chain, back of the shoulders, back of the ribs. And feel the gentle opening up through the heart and through your chest on your inhales. So as you finish that last round, we'll come back into our neutral tabletop. Tuck your toes, lift your hips back up high. Down dog. And then soft bend into both knees. Walk your hands to meet your feet now towards the back of the mat. We scoop the belly and roll back up through the spine. When you come up nice and tall, reach the arms out in front, and we sink back into that chair position. So you're going back into heels lifting. So as you lift your right heel, keep the arms facing forward, but try not to let the hips do too much shifting from side to side when you lower and then lift the left heel. So get a little activation here through the feet, through the toes, through the ankles, through the knees, which all parts of the body that are, affected by one another. So even when like our neck and our shoulders are tight, that can affect the rest of our bod as a unit. I know often when our things are feeling tight in one area, we kind of forget that. So switching from side to side of those heels lifting. Okay, let's take it for 2 more. And then this last one, both heels lower, gently forward fold again, back over the legs. Let's walk ourselves back out into a plank position. Shoulders over wrists, belly staying active. Lower all the way back down onto the chest and belly. So we'll take both hands, one on top of the other. Forehead melts down onto the back of the hands. And then I want you to walk your legs just a little bit wider to the edges of the mat. So we're going to move into just a gentle breathing of our crocodile breath to where you're in a very subtle back bend, in particular where your lumbar and your thoracic, your mid and lower back meet. And so what I want you to focus on is breathing down through the back of your hips, back of your pelvis, and your sacrum. So that little triangle part at the low part of your spine. The belly will be breathing down into the ground. You might feel the front of the ribs expand into the ground as well. And we'll just take this a few more times. Good. Last big breath here. And then hands will shift back underneath your shoulders. Push up onto your knees. Take the legs around to your side. You can come through to your seat. So pretty gentle practice today. I'm on my first day of my cycle, so moving slowly. Yes. But the legs are going to come out in front, nice and long. Sitting up tall through your spine, and the arms are going to reach out in front. So this is just contracting and protracting through our shoulder blades with lengthening through the legs, with energizing through our spine. So a little bit of core connection here as well. So I want you to hug your shoulder blades towards one another. And then reach the arms and shoulders away. So you get like a little bit of that rounding. So we contract shoulder blades and then protract. Yes. Contract and protract. Take it just one more time. Hug them towards one another and then away from one another. And then gently fold, reaching hands towards toes, ankles, wherever that grasp is. You could do like peace sign fingers to big toes. Let the emphasis of this stretch be more about your low back versus the over pulling, though, of your upper body, of your shoulders. Like trying to let the shoulders and the neck just feel really relaxed here. Take another breath. And then let's begin to rise back up. Knees are bent, feet are down. Take your hands down into the ground, fingers facing towards your seat, about like 5 or 6 inches so behind. You'll lift your seat up and let the head drop back for your reverse tabletop. Big stretch through the front of the shoulders and chest. Feel your glutes engaged, so getting that booty fired up. Feel your feet ground down, so full body connecting. And then let's slowly bring our seat back down onto the mat. Okay, so coming into a cross-legged position, I'll have my right shin forward and my left hand's gonna reach over to my right knee. Right hand comes behind the back of the head. And as I exhale, I'm gonna pull my right elbow through to center. On the inhale, gently open and feel your right elbow twist back just slightly. And then on the exhale, I pull through to center. So we should get a little bit more opening through the left shoulder blade because you're holding onto your left knee with your right knee with your left hand. Ooh, that was a lot of left and rights for a moment. And then this next time when you open the elbow out, take the hand just down onto the ground. Grow a little bit taller on your inhale. And then exhale, good, twisting from your belly. Let's go ahead and unwind, come back through to center. Find your right hand onto your left knee. Let's actually switch the legs in front too. So left shin forward, right hand onto your left knee, left hand behind the back of the head. Let me take a breath in. And on your exhale, gently pulling left elbow through to center. Inhale, open. And then exhale, gently pulling through. Take it just one more time. We breathe in. And exhale. And as you open on this next one, we'll pause. Left hand comes down into the ground behind. Grow a little bit taller. And then see if you can twist maybe just a hair deeper through the ribs, through the belly. And gently coming back through to center. We'll take the bottoms of the feet together and just letting the legs be more relaxed, like let the knees and hips just gently open. Fingertips come onto the tops of the shoulders, and we're gonna draw big circles with our elbows. And I want you to allow those shoulder blades to feel like they're gently moving up and down the back, but not to the point of where we're shrugging the shoulders up to the ears. And then let's reverse those circles. And then on our next move here, we're going to let the hands reach forward towards ankles, towards tops of the feet. Fingers can interlace. Just let your head gently relax. Let your shoulders even softly round forward. Feel into the expansion of your breath. Moving tension, moving pressure, just creating that soft space through the body without having to overly force or strain for anything. We're not trying to perfect, how our body needs to be in a posture. Just allowing a little bit more ease and less resistance to be happening. Slow and steady, go ahead and roll back up through your spine. Taking the hands one on top of the chest onto the heart, sit yourself up nice and tall, and maybe let the eyes gently close or just focus your gaze. We connect back, of course, into our breath. We can feel that energy moving against our palms. We can feel it, having our chest rise and fall. We can feel this moving through our throat, through our ribs, through our belly. But then taking notice of any additional sensation in this moment, whether it's in the shoulders or the neck or the hips or, simply the connection of your feet down onto the ground. The opportunities that we give to ourselves to find stillness, to find this observation and just simply notice, how our body is feeling and moving. It's an opportunity just for connection, for consciousness, for greater awareness of how we can support ourselves. Let's take one last deep breath in together. And then big breath out. You can let your eyes flutter back open. Come back to your space. Lovely job, friends. Lovely, lovely job. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for sharing your Sunday with me.